Welcome to the inaugural episode of Yeager After Dark. Now, this is a special episode, and I don't mean because it's going to be a longer episode, but I mean it's going to be a longer episode because I've got 2 shows worth of material here, Elevation and Dark. Because I feel like first episodes need to be something special. As does Loki. However, he's trying to play footsies with a toy. With me. And that's just not going to be able to stay around. Anyways, let's just get right back into it like I did on the last week when I covered my Elevation evaluation. Now, for those of you that don't know, this show is going to be pretty quick compared to the rest of the things that we do at T.A.G. I know that y'all are a big fan of our longer shows. However, this ain't it. I mean, I'll cover the more detailed stuff when they need to be, but other than that, I'm going to pretty much try to speed through these. Not that they don't deserve the time, it's just that as you've seen by listening to us on T.A.G., when we know an outcome, we just tend to move on. So, to start things off for AEW Dark's Elevation on Monday, we had QT Marshall and the Factory versus Robo. The match went 4 minutes and 45 seconds. QT did his typical heel work, slapping his opponent around, being the whole cocky bad guy, blah blah. Gave a reverse backbreaker faceplant. It looked like a cool finisher. It did. This is Loki's new friend, or old friend as you can tell. But right now he's trying to shove this on me. He's not looking too, anyways. That's about as much of a throwaway as we got with the QT Marshall match. Next we had Abaddon and all of her creepiness versus Layla Gray, though. For those that know what I mean, if you know, you know. Abaddon got this really cool looking, like a kneeling leg drop. That was something that I think I would even try on somebody. And damn, that cemetery driver finisher it's good shit. Next we had Thunder Rosa versus Ashley Dambois. Though, Thunder Rosa though already, but Ashley Dambois though. This was a match, if you were going to pay attention to, guys, you were going to need to pay attention to. There was a funny spot where Thunder Rosa did a pendulum rock, where she pretty much got an electric chair. Yeah. No, not an electric chair. The thing where you wrap your arms around their arms and their legs around your legs and do that twisting, that whole submission move. But she pretty much did a walking version of that and pendulum hit Dambois into the turnbuckle. It was kind of funny and honestly a little creative. Then she got the win with her Peruvian Calavera choke. Moving on. Gun Club cut a pretty wholesome promo about the kids and Billy and just growing up, to where they acknowledged that Billy was going all over the place trying to provide the best life he could for his kids. Good times. Loki is tearing the stuffing out of this thing. 1 second, please. And now we're back because somebody just couldn't get rid of a toy like a crackhead. But yeah, he's being a butt. Anyways, yeah, you wanna? No, all right, bye. Next we had Big Shotty at a whole 23 years old Lee Johnson taking on Daniel Garcia, who last week, if I remember correctly, took an L. Things didn't change too much for him there. Big Shaddy got him with a Blue Thunder bomb for that 1-2-3, and that was the end of that. Now, we had a nice little promo from Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Did y'all know that Scorpio Sky was 38 years old? I knew he was in his 30s. I didn't know he was 38. Man looks great. Anyway, nice little promo saying that they had ran through the tag team division. Now they're going to go running through some singles division because they always want to get their numbers up all around. After that, we had Nyla Rose and Robin Renegade. If you've never heard of Robin Renegade, aside from last week, then you'll probably know who won this. Nyla Rose. Ethan Page and Alex Reynolds. Now, considering that Sky and Page just cut a promo about how they're going to be taking on Alex Reynolds in 5 and running through the singles division, I think you know which way this is going. Yeah. Ethan Page took on Alex and won. I honestly wanted Reynolds to come out ahead in this, but Dark Order's going to get their shine when they need it. Scorpio. I'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit because this is out of order, but take a wild guess. Scorpio Sky versus Allen, 5 Angels. Sorry, but yeah, Sky won that one. Next we had Time for Ty, and I don't mean food. Talking about Ty Conti against Queen Aminata, who comes from West Africa, and honestly, she's got a look. She's got the look on her. I can see her definitely becoming more prevalent or more relevant later on. Did y'all know, by the way, that Paul White keeps on referring to the referees as zebras? It's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's like it throws it off for just a second. Next we had Mike Seidel versus Penta, and if the name ain't Matt Seidel, then I'm sorry, but I already know the outcome. At least for right now. That was loud. At least for right now, though, until the Seidel brothers start becoming more prominent in Elevation, and well, I mean they're on Elevation, but more victorious, I think should be the word there. Well, but if you're looking at how well this match went, I mean, Penta won obviously, but if you'll notice, Alex Abrahantes showed up like halfway in gear, so I'm not sure if he's trying to get a wrestling thing going on or what, but it'd be cool to see some antics from him. After that, we had Matt Hardy go on to a promo about how he wants to make money for himself, how he wants to be more prosperous, and, you know, teach the people that are part of his brand. After that, he came out and rocked Fuego del Sol and took a W. After that, we had Royce Isaacs versus Ren Narita. Now, this is going to be the first match where, or at least of the night, where a New Japan talent has been wrestling in AEW related brands. We definitely had, of course, Kenta versus Mox, and then Yuji Nagata and his title match against Mox on Dynamite. But this is Ren Narita, who was the guy that was following around Yuji Nagata, like his young lion, or as they call them, a young boy. This match really kind of spoke to me more than it did about like the match itself. Just by the way, Ren Narita from New Japan won against Royce Isaacs, because if you'll remember that name from last week, I'm still doing the job. I'm excited to see more New Japan talent showing up. Hopefully, if we're going to start bringing in young lions from New Japan, then I would love to see Mox's young lion shooter come in and start running some matches, maybe come to Mox's aid, hopefully at Double or Nothing. We'll see. But until then, we got to move it on to the main event for Elevation, which was Rocky Romero against J.D. Drake with the Wingmen. So I'm not sure if the whole faction is called the Wingmen, or if it's just like Peter Avalon and the Wingmen. But this has got to be the wonkiest set of like 80s porn stars I've seen when it comes down to like J.D. Drake, Peter Avalon, fucking Cesar Bononi, and the Hollywood hunk Ryan Nemeth. Like, they all fit a genre of porn star, it feels like. Even J.D. Drake with his bearish figure. I mean, this was the second New Japan related talent match of the night. All the bigger, though. This was the main event with Rocky Romero. Y'all, if y'all have been watching anything New Japan related, then you'll remember that Rocky Romero was part of Roppongi Vice with Trent, question mark. It looks like New Japan's finally starting to throw some talent AEW's way, aside from, some title defenses. Rocky had a pretty long match with J.D. Drake, though. I mean, J.D. Drake is quite the big man, and Rocky is of a more minuscule stature. Nothing against Rocky, he still fucking kicks ass. But, yeah, you had to make this thing believable. But Rocky got the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment history, the roll-up cradle pin. Soon after he gets that pin, though, Rocky gets jumped by the wingmen. To which, believe it or not, the best friends come out and bail Rocky out of getting attacked. Right after they help him out, you had to get the people what they want. And all four of the now best friends gave Rocky that hug with that perfect camera zoom out. And that was it for Elevation. Now, moving on into tonight's event, Dark. These are going to be a little bit more sped through. However, these were more matches. So, right? More? Yeah, definitely more. To open it up, we had Nick Camarado and the Factory versus Duke Davis. Nick Camarado took this. It looks like the Factory is starting to pick up W's. Maybe they're trying to get more relevant now that since Anthony Ogogo is going to be facing Cody this weekend. Not sure. But, I mean, if you're going to make this faction, you might as well make them, winners. At least for a little bit until we see what the hell we're going to do with them. Following that, we had after Nick Camarado won, QT Marshall pulled Justin Roberts aside and apparently sped up the time card. He then pulled Aaron Solo into his match, which it was scheduled for later, and said, "Nah, screw it, let's have it now." His opponent, Gannon Jones. I mean, I always love me a Gannon, especially in Smash, but Gannon Jones did not come out the powerhouse like Ganondorf, and kind of just took an L. Aaron Solo walked away with the victory there. Let's see here. We then had Press 10 Vance of the Dark Order, aka 10, against Cody's Nightmare Factory's Dylan McQueen. Now, this guy came out looking something like Sunny Kiss, but, white. He's about the same height as 10, yet 10 was just showing off that he is the powerhouse in that match. He shook off chops. Let's see here. There was a lot of rope accelerated maneuvers that 10 just seemed to brush off. So, and then of course 10 picks up a W with a full Nelson victory. Just he did get Dylan to tap instead of pass out, but still, it's just like this guy's the same height as you, and you're dominating him. Interesting. Next we had Evil Uno and Colt Cabana versus Simon Lotto and Steven Andrews. Yeah, I didn't know those guys either, so I think that's safe to say that we didn't know the names, so you know how the match goes. Evil Uno and Colt Cabana picked up that W. Shortly after, we had Big Swole and Kylan King versus the Bunny and Maddie Brinkowski. Now, this match I actually sat through. I shouldn't say that I didn't sit through the rest. However, I didn't skip ahead on a couple things. This was a solid match. Kylan King is just a tall woman overall, and Maddie Rankowski though, but you know what, this whole lineup. But Diggin' Swall's new hair, it's not new, but it's new enough still, and I guess Bunny got knocked off the ropes or from her side of the ring and was still milking that injury. And Rankowski takes a big like right hook essentially from Big Swole, gets that W for the team. Soon after, we finally had the Gun Club match. That was your follow up to the promo they cut the day before, where they fought Cal Harrow and Liam Gray. And I fast forwarded this match because, again, who are Cal Harrow and Liam Gray? But I'm glad I stopped it when I did because I caught Liam Gray trying to do a suicide dive, and Billy Gunn turned a suicide dive into an assisted suicide dive because as the man was taking that dive, Billy Gunn slapped him to the ground, and I'm pretty sure Gray made contact with the concrete. It looked like it hurt, like a lot. And I mean, even Taz and Excalibur just like, which I mean, how can you not? Soon after that, we had Diamante cutting a promo with, against her opponent later that night, Reka Tahaka. Now, Reka Tahaka has not been racking up W's at all. She's like 0-3 prior to this match. And, I mean, I don't know, she still looks great. She just needs to get her losses under her belt and, she'll start pulling out W's soon. But before we could get to their match, we had to get to Layla Hirsch versus Vert Vixen. Now, I have no clue who Vert Vixen is, but she's about the height of Kylan King. And I can tell you right now, she's going to be something. I can definitely see a feud between those two big women at some point. I say big, but I mean tall. Soon after Layla Hirsch pulled out her victory, we had Dante Martin of Top Flight versus Jason Hotch, who was debuting that night. So Dante Martin won that. Going on, sorry, I should give him the credit. He had a pretty beautiful 450 splash for the finish. After that, we had Dasha in the back interviewing Angelico, who I'm pretty sure just has headphones in at all times, or earbuds of some sort in at all times, because he's always dancing, always got some kind of music in his head, always grinding, like, yeah. Anyway, he'd like to say that most of his competitors and the rest of the talent in AEW are like, not even here, but like down here. Don't judge my hands. But, yeah, most of the people are about waist level. Now, there are some that are like this level. But Angelico, technical wrestler extraordinaire, he's all the way up, baby. And that's all. And I mean, I'm sure he is because he looks like he's high as a kite sometimes. Nothing against that whatsoever, though. As long as you get your work done, screw it. Now, after that promo, we finally got that match of Diamante versus Reka Tahaka, though. This was an interesting little hard monkey flip reversal Reka Tahaka pulled on, Diamante did to Reka Tahaka. Like, she tried to go for a monkey flip. Diamante just slammed her to the ground, like, right on her butt, freaking head hits the mat. You're just like, oof. It was, like, hard to watch. I mean, not, like, cringy, but it's just like, ugh, which is slightly cringy. After that, we had this during this match, we also had the seated swing arm lariat of sorts that Diamante just pulled off on Reka. It looked painful. It looked good, though. It was just like she had her seated, and she just kept on hitting her with like almost a pendulum motion, just swinging her arm like right on her neck, swinging that arm like right there, and then hits a semi-botchy Code Red victory. Although you can't really be too mad at it. Hey, I just said you can't be too mad at it, sir. Sir. Okay. Right after that match. What? You done? Rude. We shortly after that match, we had Bear Bronson versus Joey Janela with special guest Sonny Kiss, and I mean, Bear Bronson gave last week a pretty good run for their money. However, he's facing Joey Janela, he's facing Sonny Kiss. Sonny Kiss is scheduled for our main event tonight, and I don't see Joey Janela taking a loss to Bear Bronson. It made it look good though. Classic big man match. Like Bear Bronson's definitely solidifying himself as a big man, and I'm ready to see him. I don't know, take on someone like Brian Cage, someone like Lance Archer. I mean, right now he'd be in a jobber capacity to those big men, but eventually he'll get his own like big man status and start taking those W's. Finally, we got the Angelico match we were looking for against his opponent that I completely forgot to name, Ryzen. Now, if you'll remember from BTE, Ryzen was or is part of Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero's little charitable faction. And by charitable, I mean they steal from you and then sell you your things back and tell you that it's for the church. And they wear like almost hentai-inspired outfits. Except for Ryzen, he dresses like a preacher. With anything to say though, Angelico pretty much tried out his submission moves that he'd been wanting to try out on Ryzen. Finishes it up with a Navarro death roll and makes it look good. Because the guy just looks good. Let's just be honest here, ladies. I know. Like if I got the voice, I mean, Angelico's like up there with the looks. Not to discredit myself, of course, because I mean, look, I know I'm not ugly. Anyway. Moving on to the last couple of matches of the night. And one promo. We had from Joey Janela after his nice victory after a fight of his, I shouldn't say life, but they did make it challenging for him. He kind of let us know that he'll be there in Sonny's corner, but Bad Boy Summer is upon us. And when Marvez asked Joey, what exactly does Bad Boy Summer mean? He said, look here, Marvez. Skinny Margs, tanning on the beach, and beautiful women sucking on my nips. Now, two of those three things sound pretty great. I'll let y'all figure out which. Moving on, we had Tesha Price versus Julia Hart of the Varsity Blondes. Now, Julia Hart is 0-4. Tesha Price was 0-7. Somebody's going home with a win. And that somebody was Julia Hart. So, I guess Julia Hart just needs that faction. I mean, I guess Julia Hart got that faction armor, and Tesha Price just needs some faction armor. But who knows? Finally, we had our main event going into Brian Cage versus Sonny Kiss. And nothing against Sonny, but this is Brian Cage, who has a match against Hangman Page at Double or Nothing. Yes, I know what I just said. Trust me, I know we're gonna get a Cage Page match at some point with special referee Gage, probably. But to get back to this match at hand, Sonny Kiss brought some heat tonight. Like, she, whatever your proper pronoun is, Sonny, please drop it in a comment, DM me, whatever you'd like. I will properly address you as such. I'm sorry. But no, Sonny, you brought the heat there. Like, you actually took the aggression and got Brian Cage to his knees a number of times. Like, you were kicking the shit out of him. Um, Brian Cage did try this interesting thing of like a Boston Crab on the turnbuckle. Like he slides Sunny Kiss in between the turnbuckle. Legs are dangling out as one's would, and he gets on the top turnbuckle and starts a Boston Crab of sorts. It was very interesting to see, but I was like, all right, that's innovative. Taz didn't even know what the hell it was. He's like, we talk about a game plan, and then Brian Cage just comes out and does shit like this. I mean, he didn't say shit, but I'm glad to see that Brian Cage is cleaning up his Weapon X move, though. It looked really I shouldn't say really sloppy, but it just looked like he hadn't tried it out before, except for like a couple of times prior to his match. Now it looks like he's starting to figure out what to do with it, but he wants his opponent on his back like an electric chair. I think that's the electric chair. Forgive me, I'm just a mark. But he's turning it into a back slam to where it's like the electric chair, but then he puts his arm around your neck and then goes back. So it's starting to look more devastating. I'm sure by Double or Nothing it'll be cleaned up nicely. As you could tell, Brian Cage took this W. However, Sonny Kiss got jumped by Hook, of all people, who was I shouldn't say of all people, he was ringside. But for Hook to be the one to jump Sonny Kiss, it's like, ouch. Let Ricky Starks, who was on commentary, jump Sonny Kiss or something, But it also gets you more familiar with Hook instead of who's that random kid in the wife beater shirt. Anyways, long story short, Sonny Kiss is getting beat, and Janela, who is also ringside, I guess he was scared. I'm not sure. Because while Hook's like wailing on Sonny Kiss, Brian Cage is chilling in a corner, and he sees Joey Janela over there, like thinking about it. Says, "Come on, go get him! Like, go get Hook!" Like, he doesn't even care to fight Joey Janela. He's just saying, "Yeah, go defend your friend. Go defend your tag team partner." And Sonny got left on the rack. Joey Janela just kind of ran in fear. Not sure how we're supposed to understand this, but I'm guessing that we're going to get some kind of an explanation either Friday on the special airing of AEW or on next week on Dark or Elevation. But to bring a story to a close, that's all there is for this week of Dark and Dark Elevation. And this has been Yeager's